Over the past 10 years, I have helped thousands of renters become homeowners. Every guest brings their own unique story, but they all have reached the same ultimate outcome: freedom for themselves and their families. My podcast is here to educate and show you that becoming a homeowner is possible with the right help. $1,000 down.
Yes.
Your legal fees of $1,750.
Yep.
And you bought a house.
What a house, that's right. And in my scenario, you're the first one that come to mind. I feel a shitload better, mate. A shitload better.
I'm Darren Walters, and welcome to the Keys to Freedom podcast. Pete Hathaway, welcome.
Thank you, Darren. Nice to be here.
2017, Pete come through my new home system. $428,000 purchase price, Bow Desert. Last week valued at $744,000. That's a $300,000 capital growth since you own the home, Pete.
All right, that's pretty good. I'm very happy with that. Very happy.
And all you had to do was say yes to yes.
Correct. Made that phone call.
Yep.
That's what it took. One phone call, and you did the rest. I didn't have to do too much at all.
No. You come through. Step one was assess your position and calculate your borrowing capacity. Yep. Step two was showing your factual new home options. Mm-hmm. And step three was getting you approved. And once you're approved, you understood everything, what it would take to build your home. So you could make an informed decision to say yes to yes or no to yes. And you said yes. Before purchasing the home or building the home, Pete, how long have you been renting for?
Probably 10 years in New Zealand and close to 20 years here in Australia, where we've been renting for.
Wow.
Yeah.
What made the big shift from New Zealand to what you knew to where you were born and grew up to come to Australia?
Work, money,
opportunities. Yeah, nice.
So much.
I think anyone who comes from New Zealand comes for the opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
The income.
I come over here by myself to start with. I left the family and that back home. I come over here. I had a job within 2 days of landing in Australia. No job to come to. I just had a job within 2 days when I got here.
Yeah, wow. So where did you land?
In
where
Sydney.
Was the first?
In Sydney.
Yep.
My first job was at the Sydney Cricket Grounds. I'd never been to Australia before. I started driving trucks the minute I turned up here. And the Sydney Cricket Grounds was back in the 98 Mardi Gras. My first pay was around $1,800. It'd take me 3 weeks. It'd take me 3 weeks back in New Zealand doing that, mate.
Yeah, well, so you were earning about $600-700 in New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yep.
Per week.
And I was
First
working,
week in
and
Australia.
I was working 70 hours a week in New Zealand.
Yep.
All right. First week in Australia, I took home $1,800.
Wow.
Yep.
And since then, it's just grown.
It's just grown.
That's life-changing.
Very much so.
So for the 19, 20 years you've been in Australia,
Yep.
what stopped you buying a property with that type of income?
Didn't think about it back then, I suppose, early on. But our biggest problem, I think, was trying to save enough for a deposit.
You're not alone. I help hundreds, if not thousands of people through out of the rental market into the property market. And the same answer is with everyone. You know, the cost of living. Trying to save is hard.
Mm.
And unfortunately at school, we're taught social studies and everything but education on finance, mortgages, debt, credit cards. You know, it's a big factor to life, but we don't get taught it.
No, not in the school. Not in the school you don't.
So it's a lack of education.
It is.
A lot of people on the treadmill, 30 years, one day you might wake up and go, I'm going into the bank. You hop off the treadmill, walk into the bank, and the bank declines you.
Yeah.
Because they can see your bank statements. They can see how you live. They can see everything about you. A lot of people earn big money. And the hardest thing about it is trying to save by the time you pay rent, raise your kids, day-to-day living.
Yep.
And then even the part that you should be saving, you got to live.
You got to live, yeah.
And it's hard because, and I say it every time, saving is like watching paint dry. You just don't sit there watching paint dry.
Now, I'm sitting there watching it dry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing now. For the last 2 years, that's what I've been doing.
So,
and my whole life, My whole life, the last 2 years, I've never been so well off as what I am today.
Had you ever been to a bank or a broker to apply for finance for a property?
No, no,
Isn't that
no, we haven't.
isn't that weird that because you weren't educated, it wasn't even an idea to own a home?
No, it wasn't.
And this is where that old saying, and I actually dislike the saying, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. But it's actually the poor stay renting.
Yeah, yeah.
And the people who invest in property get richer. Well, the people who invest in property correctly get richer.
If we had a plan early on, well, then we might have been able to save a deposit. But then by the time you save a deposit, the prices are all going up. And how long does it take you to save, like for a deposit for today? Probably take you 10 years to save. And then it's going to keep the prices of the property is going to keep going up. So the more money you're going to need for a deposit.
And that's a common situation where a lot of people go, I'm going to go away and save. But we've already established 30 years you couldn't save, Pete.
Right.
So you imagine if you said that 8 years ago, Darren, I'm going to go away and save. Today would be talking about something totally different of how you missed out on the market, the opportunity you could have had, and you wouldn't have got the 300 odd thousand capital growth since saying yes back in 2018.
Correct.
And I see that, and it's quite common. I actually had a guy today say, we're going to go away and save. The problem we have is in a land estate, they release, say, 10 lots.
Yeah.
Once we've sold those 10 lots, they release another 10. They go up.
Yeah.
They go up anywhere between 15 to 30,000. So by the time our clients settle here, there might have been 2 more releases. By the time we build their house 6-8 months later, a lot of them are up 50 to 100 odd thousand, just in growth, purely by getting into the market a bit earlier. So the client today said, we're going to go away and save. They can't save. And if you can save, you've got to save to the growth plus the deposit that you need.
Correct.
So that there, I see a lot of people rent forever.
See, back in 2000, we were looking at properties, but we couldn't come up with the deposit then. But the prices have just skyrocketed since 2000. Like,
Crazy.
we looked at a 2.5 acre block out at Logan Village, with a 5-bedroom house on it, brand new 5-bedroom house for $250,000 back then. Nowadays,
that's $1 million.
It's over $1 million. It's over $1 million. And that's in what, 20, 25 years.
What was the average rent you were paying, you think?
Over here in Australia, back then we were paying $700.
What was the most you paid?
Probably about $850.
$850. Wow. So let's do an average of $600.
Yep.
Over a year, that's 30,000.
Yep.
Over 10 years, that's 300,000.
That's right.
20 years is 600,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The price of your house, you could have paid it off 1.5 times.
Yeah.
While you paid off someone else's mortgage.
Correct.
Crazy.
Correct. Yeah.
And
then
you
come in. That's where you've come into the
100%. So when you come through me, I do believe it was $1,000 down.
Correct.
Purchase price of just mid fours, 400, but 451.
428.
428,000.
Yep.
$1,000 down plus your legals.
Yep.
To get into a property market.
Grant.
Yeah, plus the
Yep.
So utilise the first home buyers grant.
Yep.
$1,000 down.
Yes.
Your legal fees of $1,750.
Yep.
And you bought a house.
That's right.
On 900 odd square meters.
Yeah, just on 1,000. Just on 1,000 square meters. Yep.
Which is a lifestyle block in today's world.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was.
And it's come up 300,000 since you bought it.
Correct.
And over 30 years, you couldn't even save 10,000.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So did your parents own property?
No, they didn't.
So you broke the cycle?
I did. We did. Yes. We broke the cycle, and I think the wife's parents owned property. Yeah. But yeah,
your parents didn't.
My parents didn't. No.
And how many kids do you have?
3.
Do they own properties?
No, not yet.
That's a concern for our kids.
Yeah.
Their kids.
Our grandkids. Correct. Correct.
because rent's only going up due to property prices going up. The problem we've got is that a lot of people want to live here. But as time goes on and property prices keep increasing, they have to move. They're forced to move, which means your skill set, you've got to try and find employment here. And a lot of the places that are further out, the jobs aren't there.
No,
So they've got to then
no.
commute.
That's right. That's right. But then if the infrastructure's there, it's not so bad.
Yes.
You know?
If it's there.
If it's there.
When you first got the house, for the first year,
Yeah.
did it feel like a noose around your neck having to pay the mortgage and the rates?
No, not really.
No?
Not really, because I was thinking, well, it's the same amount of money what we're paying now as what we're paying in rent.
Yep.
So as far as I looked at it, we were just renting.
Yeah.
Even though it was our own house, we would just carry on renting.
Just
you know?
your landlords loved you because they got
Yeah.
the capital growth.
That's right. That's right. And we loved ourselves because we were paying our own house off.
Yeah.
Like instead of somebody else's. You know? So that's why I looked at it. We just carried on renting a property.
Yeah.
But it was our own. We were renting off ourselves.
Yeah, nice.
You know? It was hard at some stages. Sometimes it got hard, but I always made sure I always made sure the mortgage got paid. That was the top priority.
Yeah.
Make sure the mortgage got paid. Which it did, you know. And like now, I've just been paying the minimum at the moment, but that's not my plan. That's after all this goes through, that's not my plan.
Yeah, whack it
My
off.
plan is to whack as much as I can onto it.
Yeah.
And get it out of the way. That's what I want to do. And I'm talking about good coin over the next, you know, because I want to have the place paid off within 7 years.
There's a catch-22 to it, and I saw it all my life, and I can look at, there was a guy I knew had a property worth $500,000, and he owed $250,000 against it.
Right.
And the goal and the mentality is to pay off your mortgage as fast as you can.
Yep.
But that's not the right way, because it's dead equity. So you're sitting there with a property of $500,000, not yourself, this guy. He owed $250,000,
All right.
but he's got $250,000 in his property not working for him. Where if you do a personal investment property,
Yeah.
you get tax minimization and depreciation.
So are you talking about an investment property? Like,
Well, it's about structure.
instead of paying all your money onto that property there, you get an investment property.
Yep.
And then that money that you get from that investment property goes over to that property.
I've got a client I just sat down with, pays about $120,000 just in tax.
All right.
By the property that we've structured for him and through the calculations,
Yeah.
he's going to get about a $40,000
Tax bill.
tax minimization by just having the investment property, which means he can put the tax towards the investment property instead of the ATO. It's just knowing how to structure.
Yeah.
So yes, having a freehold house, amazing achievement.
Yep.
But on a numbers basis, it's not wise. But it comes down to personal goals too.
Right.
So this client, instead of paying 120 to the ATO,
Yeah.
40,000 of that will go towards his investment property to minimise his tax. Plus he'll get the depreciation. So I'm not saying don't pay off your mortgage, current mortgage. It's called structuring so that you're doing it for the next 10 years correctly.
We haven't looked back now. Right. I don't think I could go back renting again.
You now believe in property.
Yeah. I'm looking that way. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I am. I haven't got much retirement. I haven't got much super in my retirement.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm looking at
As the next.
as the next step. Like,
You can go from today's position
Yeah.
and then looking to build wealth towards
yes.
retirement.
Yes.
And we're 3/4 of the way into that process. And I look at it and go, you talk about you're getting to retirement, you've got no super,
No.
you're not even really prepared for it. The key thing with that, Pete, though, is not many people are. The common statement I hear is, we'll worry about that when we get there. But you're no different than my father. You're no different than most people that are getting to retirement age. That statement of, we'll worry about that later, or it's just super.
And
then you get to
I've changed my
retirement.
attitude on that. I've totally changed my attitude on that.
Well, I'm sure now with
Yeah.
yourself, your new partner,
Yeah.
that you don't want to get to retirement and you've got to live worse, like most people do.
No, correct.
You know,
not at all. Not at all.
steak, few drinks, whatever
Yep.
your lifestyle
Yep.
is of enjoying life. You can't get to retirement and not live it.
That's right.
And I saw something just the other day, and it's kind of like we work 50 years to live the last 10 to 15 years
Yep.
worse than we did working because no money. Key part to what you have got, though, Pete, you've got an asset.
Yep.
And the key part would be to trying to get that freehold or as close to freehold. So when you get to retirement, you don't have a mortgage.
No, correct.
You don't have overheads.
Correct.
So even if your income is less, you can still live like a king.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the value's only going to keep going up.
I'll guarantee that.
Well,
and that's going to keep going up.
It's going to keep going.
It'll be $1 million before you know it.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. There's a shortage of land. We are every day struggling to get more land. We're quite lucky. We're well respected in the industry, so we do get offered a lot of lots.
Yep, yep. I think we were pretty lucky out there where we got ours, when we got ours, being in a new estate, and one of the larger blocks in the estate.
For me to build that today, 850 to 900,000 to replace exactly what we built you. To replace exactly what we built back in 2017. So nearly 1,000 squares, 200 square meter home.
That's if you can get them.
That's 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's finding builders who want to go out that far now too. Yeah. I think with COVID and the pandemic, a lot of builders went, I'm not moving past 10 kilometres.
Yeah.
Like brickies were charging huge amounts just to go from that house to the next house. And hence the prices have gone up. Build prices have nearly doubled for the same home. Suppliers, trades, and it has to though. Like you're talking about, you bought a property in the 400s of thousands. It's now close to 800,000. Yeah. It costs more now to build it. It costs more now to live. So everyone has to get paid accordingly.
That's right.
You couldn't expect the tradies to be working on what they got paid 10 years ago.
No,
same thing with truck drivers.
Yeah,
not at
all.
What were you earning 10 years ago as a truck driver?
Probably around 110, maybe 110.
What do you reckon you're on now?
Well, my last financial would have been around the 140.
Yeah, so 30,000 up.
Yeah.
So that's about right with tradies, suppliers. Suppliers, we've got more, petrol's more expensive. So the trucks that have to, cart, yourself, tyres, petrol, all the wear and tear, cost a lot more than it did 10 years ago. So as a truck company, they're having to pay more.
That's right.
And the wear and tear
got to go somewhere.
Out the gate.
The money's got to come from somewhere.
So they've got to charge accordingly. So driving trucks for 30 years.
And then I come work for you for a little while.
February, March.
Yeah.
February, March, you come and worked for me.
Yeah.
And it was 30 years in the trucking industry to sitting
at an office,
at a driver's seat, to sitting at a desk with a phone. And the reason I even agreed to that is you're a living proof of our system.
That's right. That's right. Because it took us a fair while, but the problem with that was to find a block of land that we wanted,
Well, back then it was all based around your truck.
Yeah.
Where you could park it.
That's right. That's right. And there's places that we couldn't get into because it hadn't been registered. The land wasn't registered. Until we found a block of land out there in Bow Desert, and
you said yes to that. So we actually bought quite a lot out there.
You did,
yeah.
Even in our estate, in the estate that we were in, there's three or four houses built in that estate.
Yeah, and ongoing now.
Yeah, but it's I want to start again. Like
you already have.
Yeah,
You've proven that you can save $120,000 in just months. 12 to 13 months.
Yep, correct.
So 30 years you couldn't save $1.
Yeah.
Old dog, new tricks, eh?
In 2 years, I bought myself a brand new car, paid cash for that.
Yeah, well.
I paid a brand new car for cash. I paid my partner back 120 odd thousand. But this woman over here, she's the one keeping me going. She's the only one that's keeping me going at the moment. Like, she's taught me so much, so much.
Yeah.
I if it wasn't for her, I probably have no idea where I'd be today. But she has taught me so much on borrowing, on saving money, what to do with the money, where to put it. You know,
What you could actually live off each week, eh?
oh yeah,
Compared to
yeah,
willy-nilly
you
spending.
got it, a lot of say in how I go about it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of say, you know.
Universal livers then, eh?
Oh yeah. I'm loving life at the moment. Loving it.
How old are you today?
61,
61. So you're 52.
53
53 when you got approved through my system.
Yep, correct.
Was there at any stage you thought your age might become a factor?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And unfortunately, that is common. That
Yeah,
a bank
definitely
will either decline you
Yeah.
or reduce your mortgage term, which only makes your repayments higher.
That was a big question mark, thinking.
I think we spoke about it.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Because I think that was one of your first questions and concerns is our age.
Age.
I get that on my Facebook page.
Mm.
I'm 45 or I'm 50 or I'm 60. Can I get approved? And it's...
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think now that I could be approved, like being 61. Like, it's
about structure, how you structure it to get approved. So that's where I come into it. Again.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't think I could.
We've helped a lot of people that actually had that concern of age. And can we help everyone? No. Because it comes down to your personal situation, comes down to your income, comes down to your debts and how your whole life looks, which is our step one of, it's a free assessment. We calculate your borrowing capacity and then we fit you to one of our no or low deposit lending policies. And then from that there, we show you your factual options. And no, we can't help everyone, but we can guide you to how you can fit policy or change your life. To me, it's never about income. It's about outcomes. And I teach my staff that every single day. Don't focus on income. If your job is to drive a truck and it's to go from here to Melbourne and back,
focus on that.
Focus on that. And when
Correct.
you come back, you'll get paid.
Correct.
Just do that as often as you need to earn the money that you want.
That's exactly what I do now. Like, I know what I've got to do every day. I do not even worry about the pay packet at the end of the week. I know what I have to do. And as long as that gets done, I'm happy, and the boss is happy, you know.
And that's probably what put you in today's position.
I will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's to be able to sit with you, Pete, 8 years later.
Yeah.
You've come work for me. We've stayed in contact.
We have.
We've got common ground with bikes.
Got the bikes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but to sit here 8 years later with clients, I love it.
Mm.
I know that I've built my company on the right values.
Yeah.
And that's delivering the ultimate dream, which is a home.
Yeah.
And then you phone, I answer the phone.
Yeah.
You text, I reply.
Yeah.
Years later.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Know?
Yeah, it's not every day we talk, but it's when we do, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, you know. And in my scenario, you're the first one that come to mind. I'm thinking, well, I'm going to hit you up and see what you can do again, you know.
I like to simplify how I educate you and what you can and can't achieve.
Mm.
And you know me, I'm straight up too.
Straight up. That's right.
I'll tell you if I can,
if you can't,
or if I can't. And if I can't, why?
Mm.
Or you need to do this.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But to be able to sit down with clients that have been there, done that, it's a story and a journey someone renting today needs to see.
Oh yeah. Get out of the rent. Get out of the rent.
Just say yes.
Yeah, that's right. Give it a go. Yeah. Give it a shot. You know, you got nothing to lose. You know,
the property market ain't going to slow down.
No.
Land prices are going to keep going up with the restriction of land.
That's right.
So, 30 years, what a journey.
It has been.
I love it. I'm sitting here was a client back then, now a friend.
Yeah.
You've come up 300,000. Whole life changed for you in the last 8 years, but you're the best I've seen you.
Oh, I feel.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
feel a lot better. I feel a shitload better, mate. A
yeah.
shitload better. You know,
So what's the plans for the next 5 to 10 years?
get all this settled, like all the settlement done. You know,
Get that behind you.
yeah. I want to marry. I want to marry Deanna.
Nice.
And yeah, like
Keep living life.
yeah, correct. Keep living life. You know.
You're still smiling, Pete. That's what life is about. So
Yeah.
as I just heard your new partner saying, it's about lifestyle, dream lifestyle. Having someone
She's the
that
one who puts a smile on my face. Like she's
I
just.
bet.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Darren, it really is. It really is, mate. I've never been so happy.
The future is
The
bright.
future's bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, because we don't know what's around the corner, and you know what that was like
Oh yeah.
a couple of years
Yeah,
ago.
I do. I
You
do.
know?
I do. You know, that's why I look at it. Life is a different way now. You know,
Every day you hop out of bed and you put your
Yeah.
2 feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Count your blessings.
it hurts, but
Yeah.
it's
The information gets me.
it's still there. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're going well. We're going well.
I appreciate you coming in to take some time to come have a chat. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks, Darren.